Drinking buddies. Today we're going to be talking about the top 5 bottles you should be hunting this spring of 2022. Let's go.
I'm your drinking buddy.
All right, drinking buddies. So the 5 bottles that I think you should be hunting this spring. I'm going to begin with a maker's release, and that is going to be this year of the wood finishing series. So last year's was FAE01 and FAE02. This year is going to be BRT, and BRT01 will be coming out soon in the spring, and it is going to be sitting at 110.6 proof. It is a bottle you should be hunting because these makers wood finishing series are at a higher proof, they got a ton of flavor, and they are worth every penny. They're definitely bottles that you should be looking for, around 60 bucks at retail. Next up, we're going to talk about Blood Oath Pact number 8. This will be releasing soon in the spring. It's going to be at 98.6 proof, 98.6 Blood Oath. Pretty clever, right? This is going to be a blend of 14-year, 11-year, and 8-year bourbons finished in Calvados casks. I regret that I didn't buy last year's Blood Oath because I saw it a couple times, but I hadn't had Blood Oath before. And once I tried it, I really did enjoy it, and I felt like I should have bought it when I had the opportunity. But you know, hindsight is 2020, and I'm not going to let hindsight be 2022. That kind of made sense, right? Anyway, if I see Blood Oath this year, I'm definitely going to be picking that up. Those are around 100 bucks. The next one is probably going to be a unicorn that none of us are actually going to see, but E.H. Taylor Barrel Proof Rye. This is coming out in Kentucky this month or next month, and you know that means here in Arizona we might see it in 6. I don't know about your area, but we're usually about 5 to 6 months behind when the releases are stated. You know, so it's very difficult for me to look at release dates for bourbon and take them seriously because they're never accurate where I live. But they might be very accurate if you live in Kentucky. So anyway, E.H. Taylor Barrel Proof Rye, 130 proof. This one might be one that you'll see in a small liquor store selling for $8,000 like Warehouse C, or you know, one of those crazy bottles. I'm just hoping it's one that I can land. I'm hoping that I get lucky and I'm able to find one. We'll see. The E.H. Taylor releases are always under $100 retail. I don't know exactly the price for this one. I looked, couldn't find it, but definitely will be under $100, probably under $80, because that's the general price point of E.H. Taylor products. They're not overpriced. Next up is one that I probably won't be able to find in my area, but I want to recommend you guys look for it because I read the release of it and I read the information about it and I thought it sounded really good. New Riff 7-year bourbon, not one that looks like it's going to be available in Arizona because New Riff isn't available in Arizona yet. But if New Riff is available in your area, I think that's one that I would look for if I were you. It sounds really good, an older product from New Riff. New Riff is a newer distillery that is getting so much praise for how good they're doing everything. And it's sitting at 110 proof. So a higher proof point. This would be one that I'd be hunting if it was available in my area, even though it's probably not going to be. Last up is going to be one that I couldn't find a release for it. I just know that it said early 2022. It's still early 2022. And this is going to be Knob Creek 18-year. It's going to be 100 proof like all other Knob Creek offerings. And this is one that I want to get. You know, a lot of people are kind of not a bigger fan of some of the older bourbons. You know, some people say that over, 15 years, bourbon starts to lose some of its good qualities, becomes over oaked at that point. Knob Creek is a bottle that I'm a very big fan of. I want to get pretty much any release they make because I trust in what they're doing, and I feel like if they're releasing it, it's going to be good. Plus, it's sitting at 100 proof. And a lot of the complaints that I have heard from people who have tried older bourbons is that when they add too much water to them and they lose a lot of the characteristics, and you can really only taste the oak at that point, is what some people say. For me, I've only had the Elijah Craig 18 once. It's probably the oldest bourbon I've had. The Decades has got some 20-year stuff blended into it. It's a blend of 10-year and 20-year, but it's not totally 20 years. But the Elijah Craig 18 I liked it. I thought that it was, you know, solid. I didn't think that it was completely over oaked. I felt like it was a bottle that I would like to try again. And no offense to the Elijah Craig people out there, I know you're out there in droves. I tend to prefer Knob Creek's offerings, so I'm really excited for that one, and that one's going to be probably the one that I'm going to be looking for the most, between that and the E.H. Taylor Barrel Proof Rye, of course, which I definitely won't see. Well, drinking buddies, this has been fun. These are the 5 bottles you should be hunting this spring, and we'll see you on the next one.